let's do some shooting. Oh, beautiful. That's the bit when the screen goes blank. That's the bit where I'm meant to turn everything back on, isn't it? God damn it, I forgot. Staring at things instead of paying attention to what's on screen. Reading the chat already. That's basically what I was up to. So, excuse me. Copious amounts of tea because it's bloody freezing today. Hope you're all well. Hello to everybody in chat I haven't said hello to already. So anyways, hello again, Peter. And Ozzy, welcome back after your trip to the hospital. I hope you're doing well, sir. Do let us know everything is alright. Jennifer, good to see you as well. Change the name. That's different. Good evening, Paul. Good evening, Aileen. And good evening, Chris. Good to see you all. Thank you all very much for coming along tonight. Now, Aileen, I'd imagine you're getting absolutely battered by horribly cold winds up there in the north that we are as well. That's what you were up to. Could have been awkward. You could have been confused. The work account could have been confused. So. Good to hear that, Ozzy. Just as long as you're doing well, sir. That is the main thing. Getting stronger all the time. That is good. We need you back to full strength and all that stuff. Malarkey thing that you do. Anyways. Yeah, so hope you're all well. What was I going to say? I haven't bought my new camera yet. Because people keep on buying the cheaper second-hand ones, so I haven't spent that money. Unfortunately, I have bought something though, which you may or may not already know about. It is of course, it is an empty box. The empty box originally had one of them in. It was the Flymo is for cutting grass. Fly more pack. So I am now the proud owner of a drone. So hi Jerry, good to see you. You've got loads of snow in. Yeah, we haven't got much snow, it's just bloody freezing. So yeah, Peter, the kit I'm getting, I'm going to be hi Stephanie, by the way. Yes, I'm in the skies now, Chris. The kit I'm getting, as in the camera, new camera, I am looking at a D850. So that is the desire at the moment. But in the meantime, I got one of these little things. They're fantastic. Focus. Stop focusing on my face. Focus on the drone. Useless bloody camera. If I move that out of the way, does it focus on it? No. No, well. Anyway, the old DJI Mini 2. I spent some money this week and I bought this. Fantastic little toy. It's definitely a toy, like. What I'll actually use it for, I have no idea. I'm still a little bit, just a little bit too delicate for my muckle hands. So yes, it's a nutty little thing. It's not very good in the wind though. Well, that I've done so far. I've had 2 flights in it, and both times it said strong wind alert. Because we're waiting for the winds to drop, and then we can play properly. So yeah, I've had a couple of flights. I took my first picture in anger with it today, and even then I was a bit scared of it because it was throwing a wobbler at the fact that it was a bit windy. So I've kind of I'm just gonna have to wait until the weather gets a little bit more sedate. So yeah, it comes with its own little strap to strap it all in place, so it stops the things getting damaged and stuff. Very good. Goes in its own little bag. Got the big. I mean that thing's nearly twice the size of the bloody drone. The controller. So that's this week's fun. Next week we will be. I don't know about next week. Might not have a camera by then. You know, still probably wouldn't have left the house by now. So. So anyways, let's catch up on the chat. Jerry, I said hello to. Yes. Yeah, Peter, the new kit I'm looking for is the 50. Yes, Chris, I am in the skies now. Watch out. Evening, Diane. Definitely feels like minus 35, and you know, yeah, I think Celsius wise, I think they reckon it's going to be -3, but it could, obviously we're in the country, so it could be quite a few degrees less than that. Alien, the 850 is fabulous. You won't regret it. It's just the bank account will, I think, and the fact that my computer will slow down to an absolute crawl. I've been trying to work this week, and well, funnily enough, I do try to work every week, but I've been trying to work this week. I'll do some work, and it's just, I don't know what they've done to Photoshop and Lightroom, but my God, they are slow as houses at the minute. Really, it's like pulling teeth at a minute working on this computer, which is surprising because it's the fastest thing I've ever had. But it's still, that's Lightroom for you. No matter what computer it's sitting on, it will slow it down. Can't believe those drones are so neat. How are you liking it? I've had 2 flights. Both of them made me very, very nervous because it was windy and it's snowy. You know, the minute there's snow on the ground, so I even just trying to, land in it, and I'm worried about it getting into the snow. So it's a bit nerve-wracking at the minute. I'm looking forward to a calmer couple of days coming up. I think Thursday is meant to be quite calm, or calmer than what it has been. So I might get a little bit of a flight going on Thursday. Bit more practice. Still got to get used to the controls and which way is left and right. Did I take the gimbal off so you can do some ICM? I haven't actually. I'm maybe looking to getting some ND filters for it. Supposedly you can take an image for 6 seconds on it. So it might be able to get around whatever controls are on there. But yeah, gonna be awkward for ICM. Be interesting if it would do it. I don't think it will though. Peter, can you fly that without a lot of regulations there? It's getting really hard here in the US. Actually, the Mini and the Mini 2 they've just brought in new categories on the 31st of December. And the Mini and the Mini 2 are in category C0 when they get categorized, which means that you don't need to have done a course to be able to fly it in certain places, and it's that small and that light. I don't know whether it's classed as not a risk to people, so therefore you can get closer to 50 meters providing they're part of the setup, and you can fly over residential areas, recreational areas, industrial areas without, with just the landowner's permission or whatever. So that's quite good. So you can fly in more places than what you can with the Air and the Air 2. So the slightly bigger ones, there's loads more regulations on that. So I can get away with a lot more with that little thing, which is good. Good evening, Anne. You've been looking at drones as well, Diane. Very good. Peter, I am not doing that. I'm not that confident enough. I was trying to turn it left and right today, and I was getting them mixed up. So doing it in here would not be a good move. Oh, Paul, don't say things like that. We have all the second-hand D850s gone. There should be loads of them, because I thought everybody was buying the Z7 2s and the Z7s. Should be loads of D850s. But on MPB or MBP, whichever way around it is, the second-hand camera place here in the UK and Europe, they had, was it beginning of the last week or the week before? They had something like 13 or 16 D850s. On Friday they had 3. And of course all the cheap ones have already gone. So I'm stuck with, there was one on there, I looked yesterday, it had taken 335 frames. And I think it was what, 500 quid cheaper than retail. So ideally I would like to be paying about 1,600 for one. The ones on there, the minute are 1,800 plus. So I would, a couple of hundred quid less. I don't mind if there's scratches on the surface and stuff like that. But anyways. There'll be more aerial shots around. Actually, if you go onto my Twitter right now, apart from seeing the link to this video, you will see my first photo from the drone. I'll put that on Twitter today. As you can see, the where is it? Here. There's the Twitter address. If you go onto there, then it will be, yeah, my first drone shot is on there. And D850 feels great for wiggling around. That's good. I don't want a broken wrist because I do believe it's quite heavy. I hope I will, Kangaroo. I hope I will. Alien -6 with you already. Oh god, it's only just gone dark. Lightroom slows your Mac. I think Lightroom just slows everything down. It's just pats. Yeah, it's getting to that point where I'm just really not impressed with Lightroom at the minute. Good evening, Kazi. Enjoy your Camera Club meeting. Hope it's nothing too laborious. Come on, David. You got to get yours out again, man. Alan's just bought one. Not a Mini. He's bought an Air 2. So everybody's buying them. Everybody's getting into that realm of aerial stuff. So he said he's only flown his about 4 times. Good evening, Justin. How are you? Hope you're well. Peter, you've just ordered new RAM because Photoshop's been so slow. I've got a stack of RAM here. I just don't know if it actually fits my machine. I've got 4 of these, so I've got another 16 gig that were in my old computer, which might work in collaboration with the 16 meg that's in this one. Fingers crossed they do. I've just never actually got around to putting them in. And to be honest, I'm not convinced that 32 gigs all of a sudden going to increase Lightroom and Photoshop. I think it's just going to be an excuse for it to slow down even more. Good evening, Susanna. Hope you're well. I've been doing some ICM today. Fantastic. Get them in for next week. And then I can have a bit play with them. Minus 20 and you have to put a jumper on. Yes, Peter. I think you probably would have to. I've got my little heater going on just to my right here, just to keep things warm because it's bloody freezing. Good evening, Alan. Just mentioned your name just a little bit earlier. Hope you're well. Have you been out in the snow yet? Or has it disappeared from the coast already? Diane, you've been using my presets. Well done. Thank you very much for purchasing them all back in the day. Or whatever they are. Suzanne, they are not customizable. You can use the slider so you can actually change the colours. And there's one called Buttermere Blue for a start off, so that one won't end up red. All right. But a lot of them do turn things red. I'll give you that. Right then, so tonight I am back to editing your images because I've had some sent in. So first off, I have a few shots from Peter Sherl, who sent me some images a couple of weeks ago. Finally getting to them. I have some from Anne as well, and I've got some from Nigel Cook as well. So we might not get through that many today because Peter's here is probably one of these, the combination ones. I think Anne's might go as like singular edits. I think Nigel's kind of might work out like that. So we'll just see how we get on. But first up, we're going to do work on Peter's. If I can press the button, do the screen share. There we go. So I think Peter's in Germany somewhere. It looks like some cathedral-y kind of place. Kind of reminds me of an image I made in Manchester last year, or the year before. Or the year before. So we're going to work on that. Ken, that sounds pretty bloody cold as well. You know, especially because the impression I get of Texas is that it's really, really warm. Obviously, that doesn't apply. Obviously, there will be probably higher ground. Good evening, Peter. Good to see you. Yes, you're gonna dabble in your images this week. So thank you very much for sending them in and allowing me to do this live for everybody to watch. It's a bit of a challenge. Everybody that submitted this time, they're all ICM images, so that's pressure on me to try to get something good out of them. Yeah, right. So we've got Peter's 5 images here. Now this one seems to be quite separate to the others. So I'm more inclined to work with... This one's fantastic. I love this as a starting point, so definitely gonna maybe go with a 2-image blend. Whoops, mind the microphone. Very good, Alan. If I'd been up earlier this morning, I would have taken some lovely soft lit images of the sheep in the fields. But no, I didn't. I was lying in bed listening to the cricket. England doing well. So Peter's images. That one's looks like a different angle. And these two slightly offline. So I'm initially just going to be working on these two. So let's go ahead into the develop module. 15 Fahrenheit is unusual for Texas. I thought it must be, Stephanie, because that seems overly warm. Cooled, I mean. Right, turn my heater off because that's burning electricity. And I don't want to be spending money on electricity when I could be spending it on cameras. Right then, so just balancing out the vignettes of Peter's images. I think Peter used a Canon 6D for these. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to increase the exposure to see what we're working with. Oh, you see. Nice bit of, Suzanne, wait for it. There's a nice bit of red on the roof lines there. That could turn out quite nice. Let's put that in there. That's a little bit of contrast. There we go. Don't want to lift the shadows too much. Boost the whites. Get a bit more detail into there. I'm guessing that there's the potential that this is a lake in front of this castle, cathedral-y, church-looking thing. Minus 11C in Stockholm. Yes, that'll be cool as well. It's not a competition, guys. Ah, good stuff, Peter. Right. So, I am thinking, right, we've got that balanced out a bit. Yeah, gotta go for red. Right, so, because I've pushed the exposure up quite a bit, so it's quite blotchy in here with the ISO noise, so I'm just gonna whack up the noise reduction. There we go, flattened out lovely. Has a little bit of sharpening. Maybe pick up a few of these features. Add the masking so it doesn't do it for every pixel. And we'll come back out of there. Basics, back into the basic slider. Color wise, looks alright. Well, maybe add a little bit more, see what the various settings go for. It's blue, we don't want blue. I might have to go. Yeah, I might have just to stick it to a shot. I'm going to drop clarity a bit, just a little bit. No, I don't know if you'll notice, but I am paying most attention to the building. I wouldn't say I'm disregarding everything else, but the rest of it isn't holding my attention. I'm very much working on the building. So configuring my various tweaks to this area, you know, whatever happens out here, then so be it. Increase the saturation a bit. Not that much. Leave vibrance as it is. It's the new town hall in Hanover. Thank you very much, Peter, for that building. I will probably have a look at on Wikipedia once we're done tonight, so I can research it a little bit more and get to know it, and then figure out what I might have done it, how I might have photographed it myself, etc. Just boost the yellows a bit. Now that's getting nice, right? Okay, so that's a bit done. What I'm going to do now, I don't need to touch the tone curves in HSL and all that. We've got some nice and good natural tones in that, so got the other copy of that. Actually, I'm just going to sync them all together, because adapting these settings to all 5 might present other options as I look at them. You know, because sometimes, you know, you could think of maybe another image out of these. I'm actually thinking I might not, because it is a very different angle to that one. Obviously this one's kind of photographed straight on, and then these 3, as you can see, this tree here, it's slightly more side on, so these 3 might actually come together better. So this one might just be a singular edit. So let's just whack this straight in the foot. Let's not have them all selected. Let's whack this into Photoshop just by itself, and then we'll go into what's it called? Analog Efex Pro. Well, it just means there was an old town hall that was probably built in the 1600s. And this is the new one, built to look like the 1600s. Hanover's. Hanover's where all the royals came from, isn't it? My German history isn't much, I must admit. Is the Hanovers the Queen Victoria's lot? Oh, and also, did anybody see this? Notice has come up. Did anybody see that Photoshop's been updated today? Some kind of collaborative option. More rubbish. Close. There's the close button. Right, do I want to do any further tweaks in this? What is the flask and cup? This? That is tea, which I have now finished, Suzanne. And this is water, because I'm trying to be healthy, because I've been far too fat for far too long. So yeah, there's no alcohol or anything in. Unfortunately, I don't drink much, very often. Right, let's go for that. All right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Hanovers were. Oh, what was it? I think it was the Queen Victoria's grandfather. I'm sure he was a Hanover. Guessing though. And then she married Albert, and he was Saxe-Coburg, I think. So that would be. Is that Bavaria? Where? German geography's pretty poor as well, I must admit. Right, so this one. Right, let's just chuck this in and see what kind of options we get. No. This is I've finished my tea, so this is just me hydrating. Because, you know, instead of eating, they reckon if you drink loads of water instead, that helps. Sometimes I wonder, I would think I'd be all right at a quiz, and then sometimes not. That's the point. No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to try to be a clever arse. I'm not going to go on Wikipedia whilst I'm streaming. I'll save that for later. Educate myself further. Right. Although if Peter's on Wikipedia, if he was finding out that it was built in 1913, then he might be able to find out. Hanoverians. Right, looking down the presets. Now, because it's quite similar, I think my old Manchester one might work out well. Look how slow my computer is. It's rendering all them squares because it's so slow. Right, double exposure. Let's move this around. Good evening, Simon. Come on. Ooh, right. This is the problem. I'm moving that double exposure around, and it's just taking so long to render. I've got to move it, stop, let it render everything. You know, minuscule movements aren't helping, because it's got to go along the lines. It's so anyway, what I'm thinking is this tree up on the right hand side. If I can bring that in, it'll be on the left hand side and upside down. If I bring this across to there, because what I'm trying to do is bring the outline of the very distinctive outline of the top of the town hall. I can bring that, kind of balance everything around that. Drop that down further. Ooh, you see, it's now taking that tree out to the left. Thank you very much, Peter. It might be the first of many. And the good thing about that, it shoots raw as well, so you've got an element of play. I mean, the quality of the camera isn't up to much. What am I going to do here is turn this exposure on its side. This second exposure, and this area here, I'm going to drop over the top of the town hall. So hopefully, around it will leave us with sky. I'm hoping if I've got things the right way around. It may be, no, it's the wrong way around, so I need to go right the way around to here, I think. No, I've got that the wrong way around. No, actually, if I bring this down, brain fade, excuse me. This is really a pest. Having to do this very, very slowly and having to let it render. I haven't yet, Simon. I will hopefully be getting it soon. No, just kind of waiting on one for the right price. Really, all I got to do is wait until. Well, I definitely want it before the 5th of April, because I don't want to pay tax on the money I just made, because I'll be able to knock it off me tax. So, right. Thought this was going to work better than this. Evidently it's not. Might have to abandon this idea. I was looking to get, just leave the town hall. Let's bring the U down a bit more. Yes. Well, I don't think there's any danger of mine being able to mount a D850 on it. No chance at all. Right. I think we're actually marginal. Gonna go for something quite ghost-like. Not ghost-like, but quite washed out. And then just kind of crop in. So we want exposure balance, probably go further one way. And we see we're lightening up, but we've still got that definitive shape. And if we can, that's a bit too. bit too bright. Use the lens vignette to define the area that we want. So if we bring this up and surround the building, so that becomes harsher. A bit too light. Bring that across. I think that's a bit better. I mean, it defines the wider landscape just to the right of the building there. You've got this area here, which is obviously trees. That kind of sits better. I think that works. That works better. What kind of strength? That's plus 40, so that's a very strong white vignette. Do we take that out or leave film effects? Right, let's go to warm and see what that does. Come on, are you taking forever? There we go. Yes, you were taking forever. That's a bit yellow. Right, let's go back to the subtle, wasn't it? And it was the top one. Yeah, keeping the hint of red there. Levels and curves to yeah. We can give it a little bit of color when we get back into Photoshop. We are. Go blue. Pull down on the top there. That should. Any kind of white area should now turn it a little bit more yellow. Oh, I can well imagine. I mean, well, Anne sent me an image or a series of images for tonight, taken with the D800, and even they're bloody colossal. When usually when I click on Lightroom to zoom in at 100%, like now that I've got this 4K screen, it barely moves. Anne's image, I clicked zoom in, and it was like, holy, time warp being taken in. So it just shows you how high the resolution is. I'm not sure what the resolution of the D800 is compared to the D850, but it's remarkable. Right, you can come down further. There we go. We're starting to warm it up there now. So red. Far too much. Yeah, let's not do that. Let's keep this quite subtle and work on this. That's where all our tax money goes, Paul. Give a load of 18-year-olds an Xbox controller and some military-grade equipment and see what they do with it. Straight in the ground. Right, so we are getting... So we're quite near where I'm wanting to be. Yeah, that's probably good hours. Let's go back into Photoshop and see what you can kind of tart it up a little bit more. Yeah, and I'm thinking, I'm not too worried about the weight of the 850, but will be interesting. Seeing that I was complaining about the D700, about it like potentially breaking fingers. I wasn't gripping on tight enough. Right, so this one, that's quite a nice tone, that actually. So a little bit of a new curves adjustment. Do you want to go lighter, darker? We could go a little just off, no, but there. Use Photoshop will work faster. Well, this is turning out quite nice, Peter. I'm enjoying this. My kind of subject, bit of historical kind of buildings, what I thrive on. So very much enjoying this. What I'm going to do with Nigel's cliffs, I'm not sure, but you know, challenge is a challenge. Right. Yeah, just dropping that just a little bit more. Although the screen on my right is look completely different. So there we go. Right, that's worked out quite nice. I'm happy with that. 100%. Are we clean enough in there? Will it print big? Yeah, I hope so. There you go. Right, so we will save this back in the Lightroom. Might take a little while. Catch up with chat. Thank you very much, Peter. I think this might turn out quite nice. One of the better ones I've done recently, I think. This could well turn into. And it's all to do with that distinctive, strong shape. Sometimes shapes can be too strong, but this one is definitely getting just enough. And actually reducing the strength of the trees on the left and the trees on the right. Reducing them down a bit has certainly helped, I think. Right, so that's saved it as. Right, we can shut that down. Back to Lightroom, there we go. 3 stars, so I know where it is. Create virtual copy. Crop this. Just straighten it up a little bit. Actually, I think because we've got this line here, obviously because it's reflected into the lake or whatever is in front of it, ponds, or we can go wide. So 16 by 9. Take that higher. This down here. Increase the size just a little bit more. I know it's ended up being quite central, but that's what happens at times. Yeah, that's just the way it is, yeah. So I think that's kind of worked out quite nice. Pretty strong in there. I think we could maybe have tidied up the ISO noise a little bit more. Obviously got the light streak coming through here. You can see some artifaction on the outside. This is 200%, of course. 100% you can't tell. Just in case you were blowing it up massive. I think that's worked out all right. Right, so the other 3 that I was thinking of. Go to library, it's quicker around it. I think maybe blend these 2 together, so we'll do this quickly. Then we're gonna have a look at a couple of arms. Well, you do a bit of blending just to make sure some of these work. Right. Darken, multiply. Overlay, soft light. It's just a test. I think we'll multiply and then actually realign that top layer. Get the shape kind of sorted. So that's better. And then we can go to the other blend modes to see how it works out. So, it multiplies your way forward, and let's just crop straight into the corner here. Very quick and easy. Is that nothing? So straight into Analog Efex Pro. You know, like composition wise, this is probably a bit better. With, you know, the building on the left, trees on the right, lake in front of you. But the other thing with reflections and the way I work with my stuff is these reflections can cause a problem because I use the inverting the skies and stuff to produce an isolated subject. So when it goes in there, it kind of interferes with the reflections and kind of spoils things. Just looking down the list. See, Suzanne, there's one called Buttermere Blue. It is actually a blue preset. That one like. No. I have too many presets now. Right, which one did I first click on? That one. Let's just do a quick edit on this. I like in these like concentric circles here, which we could almost use as a you know, pool, you know, at the bottom of a waterfall. I used it once, Suzanne, on a shot of Buttermere, funnily enough, and that's why it's called Buttermere Blue. No, I haven't used it a lot, I must admit. Quite a lot of shots I've actually, you know, just to see how it actually does work as an option. I've never really gone through with it. So these are just a case of working with these light streaks to create, you know, create the illusion of the circles in the lake in the right position. Let's take the vignette off. Yeah, because I thought it was creating a very, very dark left-hand side. Let's go to see where it was. Here. That was up there. That's why it's really dark over on that side. So we can lighten that up and then darken that side off. So we can bring that up here, and that will darken the water off. That's better. Not have it so strong. Basic adjustments. What's that doing? If I take it off, makes it very dark. Increase the contrast. Yeah. Increase the detail. Just lightens it generally. Yeah, I mean, this one isn't, because it's a quick one, it's not going to be That's good, obviously. Let's go cool. You know, these are looking subtle. That one's all right. Increase the strength. Decrease the strength. Go neutral. So there's a bit more power to it. Or dark. Not as much as that. Something like that. There's the lens vignette. You need that. That's as small as it goes. Okay. We'll have that about there. Exposure, the balance needs tweaked. Not that much. This is starting to get further and further away from what I thought. But the first image, you know, the shapes were much stronger. Maybe with a bit more thought I could do more in there, but a minute. Yeah, go for that darker kind of look. You know, murkier, under trees, you know, rivers, that kind of feel to it. So just okay with that. Glad you think it's fun, Peter. I'm feeling very under pressure. Well, not under pressure. And when working on my own images, it's at my own relaxed pace. It's all right. I don't mind that. It's when right forced work out quickly here, and then struggle later on. And struggle even more when working on other people's information, data. Come on, you can save quicker than that. Yay, right. Close that down. Develop. Just go for a quick crop. That is on 2x3. I'm thinking something like that. I think luckily, is that right? I think maybe go something narrow. 16:9. Just increase that a little bit. So the peak, you know, the tops of the towers just getting to the top of the frame. Fills the frame quite nicely. You do get some really nice sweeping motions on the edges here. But luckily, in these dark areas, you've got that light streak coming through it. And in this bottom corner, you've got that streak coming through. So that kind of helps balance it a little bit. Because obviously you don't want like a big black smudge. Especially when you're printing, because that will just print horribly, to be honest. So having that lighter line through it just provides that little bit of balance. So watch out for them kind of things. But yeah, that was good fun. Obviously this one was way more fun. This one came out quite nice, so good for that. Right, so library mode. We're going to quickly go into some of Anne's. Some of these will probably be able to do quite quick. Some nice coastal scenes, Anne. But I'm going to stay clear of these ones for tonight. And I'm going to jump into your birds. You have doves, pigeons, what are they? Doves, I think. Seagulls. Hard to tell. So the one that really stood out to me as I was looking was this one. Fantastic. So just very quickly. To be honest, this is just going to be a very quick edit. Just going to quickly sort these out. Just the ones that will cause a little bit of issue. Done. So I want the lens corrections. Do all these. Why is it not picking up? It was with the I would have thought it would have the latest profiles and everything in it. Oh, well, not to worry. DL. So let's just flatten out the noise reduction a bit. It's not bad anyway. We're not going to be duplicating stuff up, so I'm going to do this. Now we're going to keep an eye on the histogram. I'm going to switch on that because I don't want to go to pure black. Don't want to go to pure white either. So go to basics. Go to vivid. Does that increase the linear bit? Auto. Let's go and actually ping on some white there anyway. Ramp up the contrast. As you can see, on the histogram's getting pretty far to the left. Increase the whites, not that much, Andy. Just a smidgen. Yeah, wonderful, wonderful images. And then the blacks, it's really getting that kind of line between, obviously we got a very dark area here, and then you've got the light areas here, and keeping this middle kind of where the wings have flapped, because you don't want to go too black. Whoops. Because you start losing this nice, the gradation between the light and the dark. So you just got to be really careful about where you go. Increase the highlights. And it looks very ghostly and wonderful. All that range of movement, so much energy. Absolutely, lovely, lovely stuff. You can see you've just got the edges of these just in view. They're going really quite contrasty. I mean, this is obviously personal preference. Other people might go very soft on the contrast. So bring it way out here to really soften it all off, but I like quite contrasty things, especially like this. Really make it minimal and just, all that range of movement instead. Probably drop the clarity a bit just to make it a bit more ghost-like. I don't know whether it's the snappiness of the D800, but it's caught that so much detail in the bird straight away. It does kind of dominate it a little bit. You can play around with dehaze. Dehaze can be quite a powerful tool to play with in these situations. Something like that, and just to come back, just something to balance it off a bit, tighten it up. I've got something lovely like that. I'm sure you could, Peter. If I was to put it in the Photoshop and take another 10 minutes. But I don't really want to. But what I do want to do is potentially use the not the reset feature, the syncing the same settings across. So we could just sync these straight over. See how they affect these ones. Oh, look at that. Right, I'm just going to recrop that. Look at that. Fantastic. Did that crop properly? No. Wouldn't you? Done. There we go. Beautiful. And just taking that, the hint of green of the fields or the water behind, or the sea rather, taking that out, make it, and bringing these whites have come to the forefront. And that's only from just using the same settings as the previous image. Just doing that. And then this, you could really, personally, I would crop that in from the top, just like so. It's just a beautiful dance between the two, between the two. And really, if you couldn't see these two facing left, couldn't really tell which way they were going. I mean, look at that. I mean, this one especially, because there's no, there's not as much structure as you can see there. This is wonderful. Just this little bit here, the range of movement, absolutely fantastic. Lovely. Dark trees, is it? Yeah. Fantastic. So, yeah, interesting. You've done it straight to black and white, and I think personally I like leaving just that hint of colour in a little bit. And again, let's just go for the same settings. Obviously, recrop. So this is one that you would probably just have to, just tweak it a little bit to, get the best out of it. Maybe it's the highlights, because they'll be slightly more exposed. Do it. There we go. Yeah. I think maybe this one you could. Just make these are two. Be quite an interesting crop. Something like that. Maybe drop the contrast. So unfortunately, they haven't quite got the same range of movement for it. It's the same speed of shutter. These have obviously probably got a little bit less drag than this beautiful one. It's number 6. Lovely, lovely, lovely stuff. Again, you could crop in on just these ones. So let's go to that one and then bring this settings across to this one. Yes. I think Arnold will be starting a YouTube channel, I think, if you haven't got one already on. People want to know how this is done. There's a market out there. Don't deny it. Right then, let's drop that. Obviously the dust spot here has come in the wrong place there, so you would have to adjust that. We get rid of there. You've got that dust spot there, but apart from that, you can drop the blacks. That's maybe going a little bit too far. Drop the blacks, increase the whites. It's a small margins kind of. and also, you know, personal taste. Just it's a fine balance. What lovely stuff. Let's see if we can clean that up. Don't I want to see that? Yeah, you can do that one. You could clean that one up in Photoshop, that dust spot, because it's in such an important position. Just look at the form of the wings here. These shapes, like oscillating sound. Wonderful. Get breadcrumbs. Not very good. But it just did it because it was useless on. I was Diane, the same as me. I've seen, if you look at Lizzie Shepard, seems to do quite a lot of bird kind of ICM stuff. I think she's kind of close to Bempton Cliffs, so there's a lot of gannet images. But it's usually with the background of a light sea, where these are, you know, photographed with a dark background. So it really makes the difference. I mean, this one's magical. I mean, you could even just crop this one out. Be lovely. But I mean, like having this one down here makes all the difference to the shot as well. And you're not printing pure black as well, which is a good thing. So fantastic. Grand. Right then, we're up to an hour, so thank you so much for everybody to come along and watching tonight. Thank you very, very much to Peter and to Anne for volunteering their images. Obviously, we've got a few more of Anne's to work on in the future. We've got Nigel's got some for next week. So if you want to submit any for me to play around with, the instructions in the description below. But yeah, so you know, everything you need to do is an hour in Photoshop and everything and layers and everything. You can make some like just normal regular raws look fantastic, just with a bit of contrast sliding and things like that. So that'll be grand. No worries at all, and I think, yeah, cropping's a funny one, because I think it can be very, very personal. I saw somebody on YouTube did a video on cropping this last week. It might have been Adam Gibbs. I haven't watched it yet, but I'd be interested to see what he says. Because I know when I'm doing my, you know, like normal landscape stuff or ordinary images, you know, sticking very much to, I crop first and then edit. Whereas my ICM stuff, I edit first and then crop, because you don't really know what you're going to get. So, be interesting to see what Adam says on the subject of cropping, if it was Adam that I was watching, or saw the thumbnail for. I'll have to go and investigate. So yeah, so I think that's some lovely images there. I think this is probably my favourite one out of Anne's. I mean, really, you could... Let's actually do it. Create virtual copy. I mean, it might be end up being the size of a postcard to print. But this... just on its own. It's like a ballet dancer. Lovely. So yeah, I mean, lovely stuff to work on there. What I would call a nice simple edit. You know, we haven't even left Lightroom. And then we've got the result from Peter's images. This one. I mean, this is very me. This image. So a pleasure to work on that one as well. And this one didn't quite work as well, but I think immediately looking at Peter's images, this was definitely, you know, the starting point for this one was always going to be the easiest to work on, strongest outline, good range of movement. It just needed it lightened up. See what we had to work with. Fantastic. So thank you both, Anne and Peter, for submitting them and for letting me do this live on the Tinterwebs. So thank you very much for that. Thanks everybody for watching. Always very much appreciate you coming out here almost every Tuesday night. One thing to note is I will not be here next Tuesday because I'm giving a camera club talk. So unfortunately there will be no Tuesday night edits next week. If I do a random one, so I'll not be editing Nigel's next week, it'll be the week after. I might do a random stream, or you can just catch us on Twitch playing Battlefield or something. And I think, and we've got what Patreon Zoom chat coming up. So patrons, please keep an eye on your emails and Patreon itself, however it notifies you whenever I put things out. I've got another bonus wallpaper for you, and I'm going to sort out a Zoom chat. So that might be the back end of this week. It might be the back end of next week. So if you can make it, do keep an eye on your Patreon for that. So you ladies, seeing it was a very male orientated chat the last time. A bit of female company wouldn't go amiss this week. This next one. So hopefully you can make that. That was grand. Right. Thank you very much for watching. Remember, not here next week. And Peter, if you're still watching, I will actually just put this. Where's the bloody thing? Screen present. For Peter's amusing comment last week, my Stream Deck, and I now have the button there because I always try to find the button to go to the end screen and I can never find it. I now made a button which is bright red and says end. When I press end, the end screen comes up. So I don't have to go, which button is it? Sorry. Anyways, I am rambling as per usual. Thank you so much for watching. Until the next one, which won't be next week, keep hard. See ya. Big red button.